Sup, it's Hallie, and welcome back to Tropical Rain. When we last left off, Monica had confronted us about whether we actually love Yuri or not, and we rattled off a bunch of reasons, and that's like the last thing I remember. So, I opened the door of the club and sighed. Monica wasn't there. Figures. I walked over to Yuri's desk, sat my bag down, and climbed into the one next to her. I scooted up next to her and rested my head on her shoulder.
Hello, Hallie. How was your day?
Pretty shitty, I muttered and roughed up my hair. I needed something to mess up, and I didn't want to do it to Yuri's hair.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. It started when... I trailed off as Yuri began to fix my hair. She had licked her hand and was running it through my bangs. Though, it seems she quickly realized what she had been doing.
I just wanted to fix your... Oh, I'm sorry, that was weird.
Going off of practically muscle memory at this point, I put a hand up. Yuri, it's okay. It just caught me off guard.
Oh, I really need to stop doing that.
I chuckled. Don't worry about it. It's not like you licked the blood from my finger or anything. Haha, hee. She quickly got flustered and put her head down on her desk.
Why remind me?
Heh. She took a deep breath and sat back up.
Anyway, continue with your day.
Alright. Well, I kinda had a pretty big conversation. I froze. I shouldn't tell her about Monica. That conversation was... well, that was better left private. I had a pretty big conversation with my math teacher. You always default to math when you're, like, nervous about something, don't you? And he just kind of talked my ear off. And then I had a quiz in English and Japanese and biology. Today was just exhausting.
I get that.
She ran another hand through my hair.
I could have helped you study for those tests, though.
It's not that I failed, it's just that they're, well, really boring.
I didn't mean to imply.
Yuri. School.
Right.
Well, read anything good recently?
I tell you about every book I read. It's nothing you haven't already heard.
Right. I drummed my fingers on the desk. Well, this feels almost pointless. Bored! Something slammed onto a desk. Presumably it was Natsuki's head.
This sucks!
I agree. Usually Monica's around and has some kind of plan. Whether it be silent reading time or sharing something we wrote or what have you. But now it's just... quiet. Well, I mean, if it's silent reading time, couldn't you guys just choose to do that on your own? Eerily so.
So, do you guys just...
My head snapped to attention. Sayori.
Does everyone just want to go home? Frankly, I'm a little lost without Monica.
Aren't you the vice president?
And yes, I know I'm vice president. But I'm not exactly a natural born leader. So just... if you want to, feel free to go home.
Sayori sat down on the teacher's desk and I took that as an excuse to grab my things. I didn't care about much else. I just wanted out of that stuffy classroom. I turned to Yuri. If you can, come over to my place later. Preferably around dinner time. I whispered.
Any particular reason why?
I trailed off. I just need someone to be with, okay? I sounded desperate. And really, I was.
Oh, okay.
She grabbed my hand and squeezed.
I'll be over at 17 o'clock. I would come sooner, but I do have my own agenda. But I promise I'll be there as quickly as I can.
She kissed me on the cheek and squeezed my hand again. Thanks, babe. I sighed, ruffled my hair, and slung my bag over my shoulder. I left the classroom shortly after. I inhaled deeply as I threw my front door open. I'm glad to be home. I tossed my bag to the floor and flopped on my couch. I could really use a nap. My head is pounding. I could feel myself dozing off until I heard an alarm go off on my phone. Alright. I got up off the couch, turned off the alarm, and walked to the stairs. I plugged in my phone and set it on my nightstand. I had started a new routine. I needed to plug in my phone when I got home from school in case I needed it later on. The battery was just getting worse, so this was my countermeasure. And it had been working pretty well. I walked out of my room and back down into the living room, where I promptly fell onto the couch and subsequently into dreamland. You could also adjust your phone's settings so that it's on power saver mode. I woke up to a knock on my door. Ah! I wiped my eyes and stood up. My mouth was dry and had a metallic taste, along with my head slightly hurting. This is why I don't do naps. Well, actually, you only wake up that way from a nap if you, stayed down for too long. You gotta match your body's rhythm on rest and stuff. Otherwise, you just feel worse. I pulled open the door and saw just the right person. The purple goddess herself. Hey, Yuri.
Hello, Hallie.
She walked inside and I shut the door behind her.
How are you?
Doing fine. Tired, I guess. She nodded.
I can understand that.
There's an awkward gap in the conversation. So, why are you still in your uniform?
Oh, well, I rushed over here as quickly as I could after I finished my homework. I didn't have time to change. You said you wanted me here, so I didn't want to make you wait too long. But I did have a lot of homework. So thankfully you wanted me over at dinner time.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Thank you for rushing over, but I rubbed my neck. I would have been patient. I don't want you to be stressed or anything.
You don't have to worry about my stress. I'm happy to come over.
I smiled. I'm glad. Anyway, we're nearing dinner, so do you want me to make something?
Only if you want to. We can order out if not.
Nah, I want to. I even went to the store recently and got more ingredients. I opened up the pantry. How does soba noodles and teriyaki beef sound?
Oh, I love soba.
I wasn't looking at her, but I knew her eyes lit up. They always do. Good. I'll get started on that there in a minute, then. Or, did I say here? Make yourself at home.
Will do.
I heard her walk off and presumably into the living room. Most likely to read or knit. Those are usually her hobbies of choice. I pulled out the raw meat from the fridge and closed it with my backside. Perfecto. With the noodles soft and the meat fully cooked, I turned off the stove. I poured the noodles into a strainer, put them all into a big Tupperware container, and added the beef to it. I added some extra sauce and used the tongs to just get the flavor all evenly distributed. When it all looked good, I wiped my forehead. Lovely. Yuri, dinner!
Okay.
I set the Tupperware container on the table and grabbed some bowls, along with, well, silverware. Yuri sat down at the table and I sat down across from her. She inhaled and then smiled.
Smells good.
Glad you think so. I grabbed myself a portion and she grabbed her own. ... After I had finished eating, Yuri, as usual, didn't. She had grabbed an extra portion. I needed to bring it up. I needed to talk about it with her. It'll make me feel better. To know that I haven't been ignoring something too serious. But it all felt wrong. Like I was ignoring something serious, or like I was ignoring something serious. Though I won't know until I ask. So I have to. I have to man up here. This is something that potentially may be life-threatening. It's not me being nervous about telling her my feelings or whatever. This is her life, her safety. If I want to be a good boyfriend, this is something I need to do. No. If I want to be a good person, this is what I need to do. 1, 2, 3. Yuri? She holds up a finger, chews, and then swallows.
Yes? What do you need?
I need to talk about something with you. Something important. She faltered.
Sure. Go ahead.
Hey. I grabbed her hand. Relax. This is just me worrying about something, okay? I squeeze. I may just be completely overreacting, but I won't know unless I ask. I grabbed her other hand. So please just bear with me here. It's B-E-A-R in that context.
Aye. All right. Just tell me what's troubling you.
It's about your... I try to formulate my words. It's about your eating habits.
My eating habits? What's wrong with...
Yuri, you always eat way more than I do. And then you excuse yourself to the bathroom right after. I'm sorry to be blunt, but are you okay? That's concerningly fast bowel speed if that's what the problem is. But I worry it could be something as bad as an eating disorder. So, please, quell my worries here. She rubbed her thumbs along the back of my hands. She sighed.
I happen to suffer from IBS.
IBS? What the hell is that? She became flustered.
You're really gonna make me explain it, huh?
She took her hand out of mine and rubbed her neck.
Irritable bowel syndrome. It means that certain foods upset my stomach in certain ways. Unfortunately, those certain foods happen to be most foods. I take pills for it, and those make my stomach move faster. Which is why, after I eat, I use the restroom. But my stomach isn't upset, so it's a double-edged sword.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It was all bullshit. I coughed. Well, that's... Thanks for telling me, Yuri. I'm glad you felt comfortable enough to share that with me.
Of course. It was a little embarrassing, but I felt you should know.
She was lying. Well, all I can say is, I'm happy to know I wasn't overlooking something terrible.
There's nothing you need to be worrying about.
I chuckled. Okay, I trust you.
I'm glad you do.
There was. Anyway, are you done with dinner? She nodded.
Yes, sir.
Did you like it?
It was great.
Great. I'll keep it in mind for future usage.
Perfect.
Yuri stood up, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and walked off to the living room. What a tease. I put my dish in the sink and followed her into the living room. I crashed on the couch and flipped through the channels. I settled on what looked to be a romantic movie. Love Actually, it was called. Seemed to be an American romance movie. Seemed fitting for the evening. I was originally content with just relaxing and watching the movie, but I quickly remembered why I had invited Yuri over in the first place. I was exhausted. I soon found myself wrapped in Yuri's embrace, her warmth feeling like a heater on a cold winter day. Even if she was still in that damn uniform. I wish she was wearing her sweater. It was so comfortable, so perfectly fitting for the purple beauty. I sighed, burying my face into the nook of her breasts. Oh, good grief, guy. I could feel her blush at the act, but that only made me want to do it more. It was just so comfy. I felt myself fading away until I snapped my eyes open. No. You don't want to miss out on this, man. Sleep is for the weak. Hugging your girlfriend is for the manliest. I held her tighter. It was a few hours later. The movie was long over, and Yuri had asked if she could spend the night. She said she had some spare clothes that she brought over, but had forgotten to ask if she could stay the night until just then. I said it was okay, though there was a problem she saw. She needed to take a shower. I said she didn't have to, and could just do it when she got back to her house the next day, but she said she didn't wish to. That doing so would mess with her routine. I eventually folded and let her use the upstairs shower. But this led me to my current predicament. My phone was upstairs, and I was really bored. She was taking a while in there, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I needed to go on a recon. I needed to get my cellular phone. This is sounding like a bigger deal than it actually is. Like, you would still hear the shower if she was just in the bathroom, wouldn't you? I sighed at my stupidity and stood up off the couch. I walked towards the stairs, up them, across the hall, and into my bedroom. And there it was. I could hear the shower running in my bathroom, but I didn't much pay attention to it. As much as the thought of Yuri showering was enticing, it was embarrassing too. So I tried to ignore it. And in ignoring it, it caused my eyes to wander. It caused them to wander over to Yuri's clothes, which, curiously, were sitting out in my room instead of the bathroom. Most likely, she had gone and changed out here. But that wasn't the biggest mystery to me. Something red was sticking out of one of her pants pockets. Granted, I was not one to invade her privacy, but I had never seen that red thing before. Why was she wearing pants as part of her school uniform? Against my better judgment, I walked over and picked it up. It was a handkerchief. As I was examining it, something slipped out. I nearly didn't notice, but the silver coloring caught my eye. I bent down to pick it up. It was a razor blade. Like the kind you would see used in a movie to make lines of coke or something. The ones that you replace in shaving razors. But this one was neither a shaving razor nor a coke razor. This one was different. This one had red spots all over it, like blood. I curiously sniffed the object and was hit by or with a wave of iron, copper, the smell of blood. But why? Why did this razor have blood on it? And why was it in Yuri's possession? I looked back at the handkerchief. It seemed to have its own fair share of bloodstains. What the hell is this thing for? No, that's... Yuri doesn't seem like the type to. She just doesn't. I think back over our interactions, the months we've been together, the months we haven't, and one jarring detail sticks out. I've never seen Yuri's arms before. My hands begin to shake, and I set the razor down on my desk. I reach for her purse. Conveniently, she brought it up here with her. For the reason I didn't want to keep asking myself. But I opened the flap and dug around, praying I didn't find what I was looking for. But I did. I pulled out a bottle of antiseptic and a roll of bandages. I set them next to the razor as my mind kept filling in blanks. Blanks I didn't want filled. I grabbed the razor again. Sharp. Of course it was. What better for... I clenched my fists. My girlfriend. The love of my life. She harmed herself with this. I dropped it again. Almost like it was radioactive. I felt I was going to be sick. I was reaching for my trash can until I heard my bathroom door open.
Oh, Allie, what are you?
I turned to her. Yuri.
Wait, were you going through my purse? Why were you...
I held up the blade, and her face instantly shifted. It went from miffed to full-blown panic.
Why do you have...
Yuri, hey. I tried to walk over to her, but she took a step back. Yuri, why do you have this?
That's,
Yuri? I took a step closer, and she backed up again. Please, babe. Please.
It's not anything. It's from my shaving razor.
Please, just tell me the truth. If it really is for your shaving razor, then why the antiseptic? Why the bandages?
Sometimes I accidentally cut my legs.
Show me your arms.
What? No.
She backed up again. Yuri, please. Just show me your arms. I took one final step towards her, and she looked over at the door. I instantly caught on. Wait, don't! She ran towards the bedroom door.
I need to go.
I gave chase, but she slammed the door in my face. I grunted, threw it open, and followed her out into the hall. She ran down the stairs. Yuri, wait! Please, babe! She didn't stop. I took a deep breath and ran after her. As I'm running down the stairs, I trip. I slam my head onto the ground at the bottom of the stairs. But I can't stop now. Dazed and confused, I attempt to stand. But the only thing I can make out is the sound of a door slamming. She's gone. Fuck. I slammed my fist into the wall. Fuck! Fuck! I fell on my ass. Damn it. No. No, no. It... Oh god. I should have seen... Back when... The poems... I quickly ran back upstairs.